Welcome to the 2014 X-Bowling Intercollegiate Singles Championships. Now let's meet the finalists. From Weber International University, Gabriel, Garcia, Rinelli. From Wichita State University, Francois, Lavoie. From Midland University, Crowell, the fourth. From Notre Dame, Ohio, Chris Vine.
Now we've got four remarkable talents in our singles semis and finals today. Hello again, everybody. I'm Dave Lamont, joined by USBC Hall of Famer and a great collegiate bowler in her own right, Carolyn Doran Ballard. You know what it's like to bowl for a title. What's going through the minds of these players?
Well, first of all, it's one of the most awesome feelings you'll ever have. And bowling for a title for your college and for your teammates, there's absolutely no words to express that. But what's going through their minds right now is, oh my gosh, I've only got 10 frames. I want to make the best shot possible. And honestly, that's really what it is. Take one frame at a time.
Well, it goes by very quickly. That's the experience we've tried to explain to the players when we've talked to them as well. Now, we have an interesting matchup. We start with Weber International's Gabriel Garcia Rinelli and Francois Lavoie from Wichita State. Two accomplished programs, two accomplished players.
Okay, this is my prediction. I'm going for the underdog.
Who is?
I think I'm going with Gabriel because he's the one with the least amount of experience. But I got to tell you something. All four of the players today have bowled exceptional all week and made the adjustments they needed to do to win their matches. So we'll see, but it's going to be a good match, but I think it's going to be Gabriel.
Enough talk, let's bowl. One of the best parts about college bowling in any venue is the energy that's generated by the fans, and it certainly gets to the players, and you're looking at Wichita State's Francois Lavoie and his first match against Gabriel Garcia Rinelli, who prefers to be called Nate, actually. That's his nickname, and you've got two accomplished bowlers from two remarkable programs. And even more remarkably, neither of them made the singles team finals. So Lavoie will throw that nerve-wracking first shot. Apparently not that nerve-wracking.
Nope, not nerve-wracking at all. Great shot. I mean, he's from Wichita. I got to say that. I mean, Wichita State, great bowlers, great bowling program. And you're going to see this. The guys are playing the same part of the lane. They've built up a nice little hold area to the left. They're going to be able to get the ball around 4-5, play the hold around 7-8, and that was a great example of it.
And here is Gabriel Garcia Rinelli. We'll be calling him Nate. That's his preferred name. He's got his mom and brother sitting behind him, and his dad in the audience, and gets stuck with a single pin. Now, one thing that's changed over the years about the singles in college bowling is they are allowed to have coaches on hand.
And you're probably going to see a lot of talking with the players and the coaches, because one of the keys to collegiate bowling is that feedback. And the coaches play such an important role in keeping them calm and helping them decide the moves on the lanes.
And woof, that was tight, and that's a perfect time to ask for what the pattern is here, Carolyn.
Well, the men's singles pattern is a pretty flat pattern. You can see 43 feet, medium volume, about 28 milliliters. They're using the fire oil. What that does is it usually burns up a little bit in the front, but you're still going to see carried down in the middle part of the lane and the back end. And look at this pattern where, I mean, it just looks like a square. But really what it's shaped more like is an hourglass, the way the taper is across the lane at certain feet on the lane.
Scores have been stingy at times, and everybody seems to have applauded it. And he gets a little messenger on the 9. That was what surprised me, Carolyn. Talking to the athletes and talking to the coaches, they were very happy with this tough pattern.
Let's take a look at Nate's shot. He got it in a little bit, but remember, we just talked about how they built up that little bit of hold so the ball laid off just enough to trip the 4 right into the 9. But I got to tell you, I love the low scores, and we're going to talk about this, I'm sure. I am old school. I like the fact that you got to make a shot. It's the talent of the bowler, and you make your spares. And honestly, if you watch, the guys are playing the same part of the lane. They have a little bit of hold. All they need to do is adjust their surfaces, maybe their hand, their speed, and they'll have a good reaction.
Well, I don't know if they have to make any adjustments for Lavoie right now as he gets off with a double. take a look at Francois' form.
Gets a ball right into the swing on that second step, and look at this. I mean, just that left arm right in front of him, getting ready to get good leverage into that line. I mean, textbook Wichita fundamentals. I mean, just great bowling program. Their bowlers come in talented. They do. If you look at the past bowlers, I mean, and I mentioned it earlier, Chris Barnes, Sean Rash, Nathan Bohr, Rick Steele-Smith, they're naturally talented players, but they enhance that with the mental skills, and that's why they were so successful.
And a perfect start for Lavoie through 3. And he's dialed in right now. So how about some keys for these two bowlers in this match to move on to the finals?
Well, there's two things that I know Nate has been working on, and it's going to be about keeping himself, stick to his A game, keeping himself in that moment with that A game, but keep his options open. Not only that, one of the things that he's really been working hard on is a spare shooting, which I think is going to add to him being comfortable.
Unless he doesn't have to shoot another spare, because he's made his first one, and we've seen nothing but strikes since then from these two. We'll be back with more from the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Singles Championship right after this. And Francois Lavoie and Nate Rinelli from Wichita State and Weber International, respectively, hooking up in the first of our 2 semifinals. And the winners will bowl for the Singles Championship here at the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Singles Championship. And Lavoie comfortably in front is hit for the front 5. And didn't get a break there. Late messenger, but not going to be answered.
I heard his teammates yelling, push, push. Right lane definitely still has that hold. That was a great shot. He's keeping the ball right on target, goes a little bit high, leaves a stone 9, just a bad break. It's the left lane that has lost the hold, and let's see if either one of the players make the move. I think there's 2 moves to make on that lane. A 2-and-1 left, keep it parallel, and keep it straight to the pocket, or move right of it.
He mentioned his teammates. He's got Devin Bidwell with him and Matt Helmick. And Bidwell competed in this event. He was one of the ones trying to move on to this semifinal and wasn't able to do so. But Francois Lavoie, we talked with him earlier and asked him what a win would mean for him and others.
That would be amazing. I've been here my first 3 years. The last 2 years I've been close, but couldn't quite make it to the TV show. So it would be pretty fun to bring it back home. I know Jeffrey Young won it 2 years ago. It wouldn't be only for me, it would be for the school too. Just a national championship for the school is always fun.
Yeah, boy, he broke up what could have been a very difficult spare into a simple 5-pin. Yeah, that's a good point. Talking with Gordon Vadigan, the head coach of Wichita State, he said, I don't know if anybody has ever done what Francois has done, and that's to qualify to be one of the top 16 for this event 3 consecutive years. This is his first time on the show.
And he's taking full advantage of it, bowling great. Came in a little bit light on that left lane, which tells me he did make a move. I'm going to try to find out exactly what move he made.
Well, I'll ask you this. What would have been the logical move to make?
Okay. From what I heard this week, straighter through the front was better. I probably would have moved to the right, probably a 3-and-1, 3-and-2, kept it parallel to maybe try to create a little more hold left. I think moving left gets you into the danger zone where when you move right, because the pattern is so flat, you're not going to have any recovery down lane.
Garcia Rinelli needs this. Got it. And a friendly kick on the 10 and the 7 for that matter. There was a split second where you thought he was going to get stuck with the 7-10.
Good shot around that 8-9 board. Half pocket, but gets the 7-10 out of there. It's kind of cool.
He's got a very difficult task ahead. His best score is a 233. And he's going to need some help. But one thing, if there's anything about college bowling, is you really do have to expect the unexpected. Howard having a beautiful, beautiful shot. So he's doing everything he can to keep his hopes alive to advance.
Great comeback shot on this left lane. increased his ball speed. It looks like he made a little bit of a move left, but increased his ball speed to keep it on line. Great shot.
And that's more of the emotion you come to expect from a Weber International player. They are one of the more fun teams to watch. Looking for up-to-date bowling information at your fingertips? Check out USBC on Facebook. Get all your bowling news, photos, and videos on your favorite website. Go to facebook.com/USBC. Make sure you click like. That's, oh my goodness. I was about to say that's how you respond when your opponent throws a double, and for some strange reason the 7-pin just stiffed him.
Absolutely. There's nothing more to say. Another great shot and another bad break. Ball comes up just a little bit high. I mean, you know, that's where we talk about that, just the 100th of an inch, you know, of where it's hitting the pocket. And, you know, stone 7, just bad break right after stone 9.
So even if Lavoie converts this, Garcia Rinelli still hanging tough. No problem on the conversion. He's overpowered that 7-pin. I mean, it's a clean game for Lavoie. He could shoot a 257 if he punches out. You see what Lavoie's done. Qualified second, so he didn't have to bowl in the first round. Defeated Zach Carey and Ryan Graywatts.
It's nice to have a bye. You can watch everybody else bowl and see how the lanes are transitioning and kind of be a little more prepared when you get ready for your match.
Yeah, Garcia Rinelli had to start in the first round, so he had to bowl 3 times to get here. And again, a 7-pin. That time he'll probably take that.
Another light hit on this left lane, which means this left lane's going through a little bit of a transition. Like I said, talking to the players before they started, it was the right lane they really liked, but they said not so much different. And you can tell now that this left lane is definitely transitioning a lot faster.
And he'll attack and succeed again. But now 246 is the best he can do. So it's up to Nate Garcia Rinelli here to just throw strikes. And if he can do it and try to put any pressure. So far, Lavoie, Carolyn, to me, has responded to everything. I mean, he hasn't had a bad ball, right?
Absolutely not. I mean, he could have potentially a 300 game going. Just had a couple bad breaks. Nate is in the position he must strike.
You see how Garcia Rinelli got here. He had to come all the way from round 1, knocked off of Wichita State. Shocker, and just knocks down 10 straight back. Now getting involved with his teammates there. Making a heck of a comeback. Is it going to be too little too late?
Playing very direct through the fronts. He's just got such a great look on this right lane. Both players do. And he's getting into it.
That is what he's talking about, as he says to his Weber teammates. You see his mom on the right and his brother Kenny, mom Karen, and Coach Del Warren from Weber right there in the corner with his arm resting, looking surprisingly calm. I wouldn't be if I were him. He's the head coach at Weber for the men's team.
That's the calmest I've ever seen Del Warren.
Went right through the face, and that is a very difficult conversion.
He missed left and got around that one a little bit. If you can see, he's got some great over-end roll, which allows that ball just to be really smooth off the spot. But he got around that one a little bit. Ball tipped just too much. 3, 6, 9, 10.
Excellent conversion. Has to be kind of a downer for him, though, because Francois Lavoie will move on to the finals.
Great show put on by the both of them. He bowled really good for his first time being out there and not being used to it, and the nerves. I mean, he was a little bit nervous. He admitted that, but that's natural.
And he's just a freshman, by the way, so we'll be seeing a lot of him, I'm sure, on the X-Bowling Intercollegiate team shows and the X-Bowling Intercollegiate singles championships. Real talent. The next match will feature Notre Dame, Ohio's Chris Vie, a two-hander, and Perry Crowell from Midland. That ought to be a completely contrasting style match. Francois Lavoie opened with the front five, had nothing but single pin spares after that, and that was enough. As Garcia Rinelli shoots a 206. And that's exactly what Lavoie has right now, and he'll win it on this ball. Wonderful game thrown by Wichita State's Francois Lavoie. He is a finalist. He'll take on the winner of the Crowell match coming at you in a moment. Lavoie opened with a front five and finished with a 244. An impressive win over Nate Garcia Rinelli to move on to the finals. This is Lavoie's third consecutive year to make this event, his first time on the show, and he nailed it. He was magnificent. Now he'll take on the winner of Chris Vie from Notre Dame, Ohio, and Perry Crowell the fourth from Midland. And Perry will go first. And Perry III is behind him. That's his father. And his granddad, Perry II, is kind of in the shadows. He's here, but Mom and Dad got the premium seats.
He was very happy last night, too, that they were all here.
Came across the face, and that is a very difficult way to start. You see upper right-hand corner of your screen, his orange-clad teammates, men's and women's, are here to root him on. That's one of the cool things. Everybody sticks around. The team stick around with no matter what they do, whether they finish highly, didn't have disappointing, and there's a lot of heartbreak in this event for the teams, but the athletes stick around to support their teammates. And that's the other thing, too, and when we talk to everybody, is how important it was for them to win for their teammates, even though this is a singles competition. Got it! Beautiful shot. Well, that hopefully will shake the nerves a little bit.
Great shot. Not textbook, because a lot of times you're trying to get that ball to hook into the two pins instead of to the left of it. Gets a break. Takes out the 10, makes that spare. Boy, I'll tell you, that right there should take the nerves out a little bit, making that spare.
Would you want to, maybe you have to sit down, that's just the format, but would you, after that relief of that, would you want to be right back out to bowl again?
I would take a minute. I'd like to sit just for a minute.
You can watch the two-handed Chris Vie from Notre Dame, Ohio, blow up the pocket.
Chris is actually a very good fundamental two-handed bowler, real smooth into the line. And amazingly, he doesn't have that high rev rate like Jason Belmonte, but an extremely effective rev rate.
This is not a common sight in college bowling, is it?
No, actually it's not. It's more definitely at the pro ranks, and internationally we've seen it more.
That no. Back-to-back. Falcons of Notre Dame, Ohio, and South Euclid, Ohio.
I think this left lane is going to be the key for the winning of the matches. Threw that one a little bit harder and got it in. And we talked earlier about that lane going through transition, and talking with the coaches, they're saying that the left lane is got a little bit of a hook spot early. So if the ball hits it and gets going, it's not stopping, okay? That's what they've looked at all week. So the move needs to be either parallel to the left to 2 and 2 and just keep the ball on target.
Chris, a senior, been on junior Team USA for a couple of years. By the way, what a talented foursome we've had here. All-Americans, junior Team USA members, maybe as good a Final Four as this event has had.
And of course, the part I love the best, their education.
Mm-hmm.
They're all looking forward to graduating, getting a good education, and still bowling after they leave college.
He made whatever adjustment needed to be made, because Perry Crowell drills the first strike for his afternoon, and Perry told us that he really relies on the strong family support that he is getting today.
my whole family is going to be down here. You know, I got both sets of grandparents, and mom and dad's going to be down here. And it's my phone was blowing up after I made the TV show. It means everything. I mean, they'd be behind me the whole way, and it's just kind of nice to have that support system right there behind your back when you need it the most.
Yeah, Perry owns about, it seems like, a tenth of this auditorium here, with family members or the other set of grandparents, and they've got premium seats at the foul line. Barb and Perry sitting behind him, and they are his parents. And we mentioned Perry the second is behind even the parents. And oh man, seemed like that shot deserved a strike, and he got it off the messenger.
Much more direct to the pocket, increased his ball speed a little bit, and got the messenger to go across the deck. He moved right, comes in light to the pocket, sends a pin right across. Great shot. Love the adjustment. One of the things Del Warren and I were talking about, maybe just stay in the same spot and increase your ball speed. Sometimes it doesn't have to be about changing balls and thinking all the time and doing all these drastic things. Sometimes it's just about, throw it a little bit harder.
See how Lavoie responds to the double, and he gets a bad break there. Now that leads me to this question. How much faster can a two-hander make that adjustment, and how much harder can he throw it?
Oh, I think the leverage they create is unbelievable, and the way the ball comes off of their hand is just unbelievable. As you can see when you watch Jason Belmonte on the PBA Tour, I think they can increase their ball speed a little bit easier, and really you will see that more often now, because as you start to open up your angles, you tend to lose carry.
He falls behind 24 with the first mistake of the match. You see what Lavoie has done in 14 tournament games. And he ended, we mentioned Devin Bidwell earlier from Wichita State. He ended Bidwell's tournament at Lavoie, 667, 709, I should say, to 654. So he came out firing a 709 to get things started in round 2. He also had a one-round tie. You can see how he can throw a 709 series. We'll be back with more action from the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Singles Championship.
What is the Bowling Foundation?
Evans, he gets that 10-pin, and that is an excellent example of how to come back after a mistake.
Comes back, throws a great shot. He's moved in just a little bit around that 10 board, keeping his ball speed up, gets the light hit. And I have to tell you, you know what he'd probably be saying after that shot? Thank God it fell so I don't have to shoot at it, because that's what I would be saying.
So Crowell now with the 11-pin advantage. And it's getting late. Crossed high, and he's got a very tricky 3-6-10. He's already been on that side of the lane a few times with spares today.
And you can see him after he throws this shot, he lifted up early, and as he was walking back, he was kind of, patting his hands down. One of the things he mentioned was his tempo. He cannot let his feet get fast. When his feet get fast, his timing gets a little bit out of whack. He starts to pull down on it, so he needs to just take a breath, slow down those feet just a little bit, and relax.
Beautifully converted. His lead, however, dropped down to 8. And you see Perry's road to the finals. He was the 12th qualifier, but was able to, especially at a Brian Bush match from Lawrence Tech, get rid of Dakota Daniels, move on to the second round and third round, and now to here. Two frames away from determining our second finalist, Francois Lavoie from Wichita State, who threw a 244, awaits the winner. And he got it.
He was really aggressive to this shot. You saw his arm come way up over his head. I'm telling you, the light hit, they all said the light hit was better than the solid hit most of the time this week.
Well, here's what we're looking at, Carolyn, and I'm sure you've already figured this out. Vi, max score is 204. Crowell's max score 202. So it's pretty simple for Vi. Strike out and get 9. Strike on the last ball. Good, and he got the first one. I'm going to guess he didn't get a lot of those in leading the qualifying for this event.
Definitely not one of his best shots. You could see he lifted right up out of that shot, but he got a break. That is one of his keys, is he's got to be down and steady throughout his entire approach and release. He says when he gets really quick and nervous, he tends to pop up and pull through it. And you could see that on that shot, but he got the break. He needs to refocus.
Now you see what he needed. There's our max situation. So 2 more strikes and 9 pins. That looks easy to type and easy to say. And now on Carolyn's favorite lane, the left. Let's see what happens. This is the lane where Vi left the 7-pin and then missed the 7-pin. Excuse me, he struck on this lane last time, and he doesn't get it this time. So now that's going to change the scoring, obviously.
Real good shot, real aggressive at the line, keeping it right on line. Left the 4-pin, good shot. Especially when the lane's getting tricky, just hitting the pocket and hoping to get a break sometimes is the only thing you can do.
Gotta hit this though, can't make any late mistakes, and he makes that. So now his max is going to be 183. And this is sort of more in line with the scoring that we've had this in qualifying and for this event.
Absolutely. Once the lanes transition, and especially in match play when you're switching pairs, I mean, that first game, for especially the team bowling, you might have a good score, but once you switch, it's like a brand new pair. It really is. And this shot right here is very important. He needs all 10 to force him to get up and strike.
Beautifully done. Great concentration. He may have taken a couple of extra seconds before he fired that. So Vi, 183. And now the hardest thing of all, watch. Because Crowell can still get that 202.
Big shot. He 3, 6, 9, 10 the last time on this lane.
He has struck on this lane twice, but he's also had an open on this lane. I think it was the 310 that he chopped. And you mentioned that he's had another throw that was not that great. So this lane has been a frenemy to him. He's striking 6. Got it.
Aggressive. Look at just like the left lane. Maybe a little bit more ball speed, and that's all because of nerves. I'm gonna tell you that right then and there. But kept it on line, threw it good, rolled it off his hand. Great shot.
Can you stand up and throw a ball? Because he needs a pin. That's it. I'm not sure. I'm not saying I can do it right now. I know you could.
I was gonna make a joke, but I shouldn't.
He's going to get it. He's going to do it in style. Perry Crowell IV has made his Midland bowling family and his family members thrilled. He's in the finals against Francois Lavoie. It wasn't always easy for Perry, but he gutted it out and defeats the top seed, Chris Vi from Notre Dame, Ohio, to advance to the championship match. So Perry Crowell IV from Midland finishes strong and defeats Chris Vi from Notre Dame, Ohio, 201 to 183. And now it's the second seed, Francois Lavoie from Wichita State against Crowell for the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Singles Championship in Reno. Francois Lavoie will get the first shot. Now, the interesting thing here to watch, Carolyn, it's been a little while since he's thrown on this pair. He did get a little practice before the match, and we'll see how he can adjust. I'd say fairly well.
Within 3 shots of his practice when he came back over here, first thing Nathan Ward told me was, wow, the fronts are really hooking. So what they've opted to do, and this is what his game plan's going to be until it stops working, he made that parallel move, maybe a 1-in-1, and he's going to increase his ball speed to keep it on line.
So Crowell had kind of a nervous start to begin with, as opposed to Lavoie in his first match when he strung together the front 5. But Crowell settled down and took advantage of when Vi left the door open. Crowell walked in. And comes right crashing through the door, this time with his first ball in this match.
At the bottom. He gets a ball off his hand real firm, but he sticks just a little bit, looks down at his foot, stayed with it, and got a good result.
So if he had an issue with his shoes or sticking at the line, it certainly didn't show with a double start for Crowell.
This left lane, he said, hooked even more when he was finishing the match. He made it 2-2 left, increased the ball speed, but the key to him for this match is keeping his hands soft. He doesn't want to grab it.
You see what Lavoie did. He was nearly flawless. As Carolyn mentioned during the match, could have had a chance at the 300s. Even his misses were good. Oof. Punishing the pins, both these players in the opening frames. Lavoie's personality is so interesting. It doesn't seem to register, not matter to him whether he just put 10 straight back or threw it, you know, a bad ball. He just seems to keep the same level.
All business when he's on the lanes.
He's part of one of the distinguished programs in the history of college bowling, Wichita State. Ten national championships dating back to 1980. A little high, but he got a roll on the 4.
The left lane again, hooking up just a little earlier than expected, goes high, but trips the 4.
A new era in youth bowling has begun, and the USA Bowling Program needs you. Volunteer your time to coach children in this team-based competition. To find a free seminar in your area and pick up the basic skills that teach the game, please visit bowl.com/USA Bowling Coaching. And that's big trouble, Greek Church. And the look on his face, he's just puzzled. Maybe, I'm sure he's disappointed and angry, but he looks as much stunned by the result as anything else.
He's a little shocked, got into a roll just a little bit too soon. This right lane is starting to catch up to the left lane. Not only that, looks like he decelerated just a little bit on that. Slow ball speed.
Oh my God! That was remarkable.
He went for it, hit in the right spot. Just needed a little bit more of a break. But he needed to get as many as he could with Francois on a triple.
We'll be back with more action from the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Singles Championship after these messages.
Jack Link's Beef Jerky presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
He has had an outstanding season for Midland University. That's a strong program. They're always in the ITCs, the ex-bowling intercollegiate team and or singles championships. They always send a strong unit, men and women. Powerball, beautiful shot.
Much better shot. You're going to see his feet were a little bit slower, much more aggressive through that shot. Stayed with it. Great reaction.
So we've heard how rushing his feet hurts him. How does slowing his feet help him?
I think it just gives him back that tempo, because he said he likes, you know, he's a little bit of a thinker, and when his feet feel a certain tempo, he gets everything else in motion. His swing matches up with his feet, and he feels like he gets more leverage at the line. And you could see it on that shot. And of course, walking back, he's pointing to the right lane. You know, one of those, I'm going to figure you out. And, you know, he needs to. It's the 8th frame.
Oh, beautiful back-to-back strikes. Beautiful shots both times, too. Pure hits. And still a chance.
Great shot on that left lane, the one that he was doubting. All 10 in the pit.
So he's thrown it back a little bit at Lavoie. But Lavoie has handled everything so far flawlessly. Got a kick on the 10. That's a big strike.
I think I saw his right fist pump on that one.
Slightly for him, yeah, he went crazy there. Well, some of the intensity, though, when he went back to high-five his teammates after that made the 5-7, you could hear the slap. I mean, there's intensity, no question. .247 max for Lavoie.
Big shot here to put the pressure on and almost make it impossible not to win.
Oh, and it slipped away. That's the first, I would say, bad shot for him.
Absolutely.
There's a little hope there for Perry Crowell IV.
Bad shot. He pulled up through it. You could see he moved up with the shot, just lost it off his hand. Left the 210.
How good are you with these?
I don't leave these very much. Your ball has to hook just a little bit to leave a 210. I'm the 5-7, 4-5-7. Please talk to me about the things I know.
Gonna go for it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and there you see he expresses with his hands that he almost broke Crowell's hand.
This is huge. I mean, he refocuses and gets up there and just nails the 210.
So he's had 2 chances to make big mistakes and has come through with split conversions in 2 of the last 3 frames. And that one for Crowell. Now Crowell's got to readjust because he can still throw a 222 max and put a lot of heat on Lavoie. But he's got to, in his mind, he's got to be thinking, oh my God, I've got this guy. Oh, I don't.
He needs to strike. He needs to make good shots. He needs to be aggressive, and they have to fall.
Come on, no, 4-pin. And for a moment, he was looking at disaster, but now he's got something he can handle.
Did not look like a bad shot. Hooked up a little earlier. You know, one of the hard things about a TV show is getting up after the break. You know, you're sitting there for 2 shots. You have to remember to keep your ball speed amped up if that's what you're doing, because that's what happens when lanes start to break down.
So max now is 201, and he's got to get there. If any chance at all to defeat Francois Lavoie. Was yet to make an open frame today, despite having some pretty good chances in this game to do it.
When somebody makes the 5-7 and the 210 in the same game, you know, it's almost like the luck is shifting one way.
Well, that's a solid hit. And so Lavoie's going to be in a position here, Carolyn, where he almost pretty much just has to not fall down to win the match.
Okay, so I'm going to say what I was going to say earlier.
Okay.
Yes, he needs to keep the ball in the lane, but I have seen a guy throw it in the gutter for the cheese one time on the PBA tour.
You know, I've
And
seen that
so,
too. I remember that very well.
Yeah, so let's.
Who was that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Some guy that used to be really good way back when. Del Ballard. He's going to kill me.
Yeah, but did he not win a major championship like the week after?
Yeah, so what? He's got 2 U.S. Opens, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, big applause here from Perry Crowell IV. He wants everybody up. His last shot. It's going to be a noisy one. He's a senior, so this is it for his college bowling career. He thanks his teammates and congratulates the singles champ, Francois Lavoie. Lavoie just needs 2 pins to wrap it up. Proud parents for certain. Their son made the championship match, and that says a lot. And ends a fantastic bowling career. And Lavoie, your singles champion.